Hi there, it's the Asian math guy, Reid, and today we're looking at the writing section of Practice Test 4 from the College Board's Practice Test SAT. We're just going to look at the first question, but hopefully I'll give you a way to approach these types of questions. So let's get started. The general strategy for this writing section is to read the passage and answer the questions as you go along. So do not read the passage first and then go back to answer the questions. However, if you are low on time, looking at the questions first and picking the easiest ones for you may help you score a few extra points. So with that in mind, just read the sentence containing question number 1. Cisqueros was asked to celebrate tropical America in his work. He accordingly titled it America Tropical. One way to get started is to look at the structure of the sentence. So here let's just identify the subject and the verb. So I will use orange for the subject. So Cisqueros is the subject. And let's use pink for the verb. Was asked. And then we have to celebrate tropical America in his work. He accordingly titled it. So it looks like we have a new set. He is the subject, and titled is the verb. Now, if these were two complete sentences, we would expect some kind of punctuation to indicate that, such as a period after work. But that's not what we have, so let's just highlight the punctuation we do have, which is a comma. Now that comma is not underlined, so we know that that comma is correct. With that in mind, we want an answer choice that does not make two complete sentences. So option A, no change, is what we read aloud. This has a separate subject and verb, so it doesn't actually go with that comma we saw. Let's cross that out. Now let's look at answer choice C. Accordingly, he titled it. It's very similar to option A, except accordingly comes first. Now that doesn't actually change the subject or the verb, so we can eliminate that because it's basically the same answer as A, which we said was wrong. D, it was titled accordingly. Now here they've changed the subject to it and they use the passive voice, was titled, as the verb. So let's just make that clear with the highlights. It was titled. So again, we have a subject and a verb suggesting a complete sentence. But that's not what we want. So let's eliminate D. I had skipped over B because I knew it was the correct answer, but I wanted to show you how I went through the process of elimination. So if I use B, it says, which he accordingly titled. So adding that which in the beginning means that what follows is not a separate thought. It is not a complete sentence, which matches with that comma we saw. So B is the correct answer. Now, I actually want to go back and redo this problem, and I want to use some technical terms. While you don't need to know these technical terms for the test, it does help in studying because it clarifies the ideas in your mind. You can separate out different instances. So I'm building off of what we already observed. There is a comma after the word work, and we're looking for something that follows that comma that makes grammatical sense. Now, commas are used for many things, one of which is to offset a non-restrictive clause. So this non-restrictive clause you can think of as being parenthetical. It isn't essential to the meaning of the sentence, and you could take it away and still have the same sentence. We're looking for a non-restrictive clause in the answer. Option choice B starts with which, and that's the only option that starts with which is a very common word to indicate a non-restrictive clause. This non-restrictive clause is actually modifying work. So when we say which he accordingly titled, and then it would continue America Tropical, that's describing the work, the noun work, that immediately precedes the comma. So let's recap. We first identified the subject and verb in the sentence that contained question 1. But we found that with option A, what was already given in the underline, there was already another subject and verb, but it didn't match the punctuation that was given, the comma. So we went through the options, eliminating all options that contained two separate sentences, since they're not allowed to be joined by a comma. We then took another look and practiced some of our grammar vocabulary. So we identified that we would expect to see a non-restrictive clause. The only answer option that had a non-restrictive clause was B, and that started with which. Either approach will work, and through practice and studying, you'll figure out the one that works best for you. There's a lot more information to cover, including different types of problems, goal setting, test-taking strategies, and more, so subscribe and stay tuned. I'm currently based in Pensacola, Florida, and I'm available for one-on-one and group sessions, both in person and online, so just send me a personal message to get started. Thanks for watching this video, and happy studying!